we're currently in wartime, so if nobody's aware what's actually going on, we've got a front over in 7-7. To some of the newer guys, a couple of new names there like Gene and Tim. We have a war front over in 7-7 currently that's ongoing against Imperium and their allies, specifically Sigma and Friends. So Sigma Shadow, Ultimatum, and then a couple other entities like Siege Green and United Fleets. Is it again? United Fleets, Unholy Fleets, some shit like that?
Yeah, someone got that.
Yeah, UA Fleets is what I know them as. I can't remember their exact fucking name. Anyway, they're fighting us at the moment. What I've been doing on the side with our group is reconnaissance and intelligence gathering. That's what we're specifically geared towards, that and Black Ops. So what I want you guys to be able to do effectively on operations, on any sorts of CTAs and stuff, is to run moving parts. What that means is I want you to operate away from the standard deviation of DPS. I don't want you going specifically DPS. I don't want you going specifically logistics. I want you to primarily focus on what our fleet needs, which is E-War. Specifically, E-War and tackle. Dictators are also fantastic. If you're able to multi-box and able to do it efficiently, then what I would recommend is you focus on E-War first, and then go with tackle after tackle, dicta after dicta, then eyes. In that sort of order. I don't want you to go for DPS, I want you to go for logistics. And the reason I want you to focus on these sorts of things is it builds you a general awareness of how the grid works when it comes to warfare, when it comes to how a fleet works, when it comes to defense and offense. You get to see everything from a bird's eye view because you're the one who's going to be pulling range. Understanding your own range control whilst at the same time being able to apply to the enemy is what amounts to fleet survivability. So it means if you're far off and you're applying to someone like 100 clicks off from you, and you're able to stay alive at the same time, you're basically doing what you need to do to ensure the fleet survival, your own survival, whilst in maintaining application of the enemy. So it's an all-round positive. What I want you to do is focus on that. I'll be teaching that to some of you guys over the coming days as well on different operations when we're able to get on them at the same time. We'll try to run E-War ops and stuff together as a corporation as opposed to trying to do it on an individual level. Hey, Neb. And as we go and move towards that specification, I want us to consistently try to be able to be the driving force that is specifically in E-War. And the reason I want us to do that is not only does it amplify the projection of our fleet, but it also gives us a name, which we've already got. We've got a good history, but I want that to be amplified in the area that we're in, because the area that we're in relatively unknown. I mean, folks know we do reconnaissance. Folks know we have intelligence flowing in and out of our back doors consistently from my side and from Akonan's, for example, but they don't know the rest of the corporation. So they need to know the rest of you guys. And the best way to do that is by putting you out there in a niche specific role so that folks are like, oh, okay, that's what they're about. Any questions on that side?
No. Apart from hello, everybody.
Hey, Neb.
I've been away. Well, I haven't been away. I've been busy trying to get my stuff down here now. I've got 5 jump freighters down here full of big goodies and bits and pieces, loads of ships, and all sorts of bits and pieces that are now in my control. So I'm not short of money. I'm not short of ships. I'm not short of mods. I've got practically everything I require here now. Now, I caught the end of that, and I'm assuming that you've got some grand plans, designs coming up, which I'm all ears for. So carry on. Don't let me stop you.
No worries. All right, so I'm going to move on to the next side, which is industrial production. We've had a couple of the boys on the side doing capital creation. So someone like Shinzo, for example, and Aragorn have been doing cap production. Shinzo specifically, he's currently gone AFK due to IRL. Same with Aragorn, and same with Khan as well. So they're a trio similar to some of you guys who are like duos and come in with your friends and stuff here. they've all got IRL stuff, work, marital problems, all sorts of stuff, and all that jazz. So what I've been doing is I've been leaving that side of things um, on the wayside as of the moment. What I want you guys to try to focus on downtime when you're not making money and you're kind of chilling and not sure what to do in terms of like corporate activity. Go to the corporate projects. We have some industrial stuff we need to take care of. There's also corporate projects for just generally roaming and killing things, as well as scanning wormholes. Those three specifically, ideally the wormhole scanning is probably the one that's gonna be the most beneficial for transit, because transit is key to trade. It's key for us to keep our things up. It helps our boys offload shit that they want to sell over in Jita, as well as bring stuff in and that sort of thing. So if you have a chance and you're not doing anything, it's like, hey, I want to go fucking scanning. Cool, go do it. You get paid for it. Corporate projects currently are in the 10 bill plus range. That's free for every one of you to go and grab. So if one of you wants to be a greedy cunt and grab the entire 10 bill, fuck it, go for it. In the future, you'll be seeing projects that are closing in on the 100 bill mark that I'll be putting in as well. What I want for you guys is to not only have the incentive to go and do exploration and kill motherfuckers around the area, as well as pull in industry resources that I need you to do. But I also want to make sure that you actively put all the goods that you're pulling in from your ratting, from your salvaging, from your exploring, killing things towards the corporation, so the corporation can then feed it back to you over time with the production of hulls, the utilization of our doctrines, being on contract and that sort of stuff. So you can have that as a whole, so that if you need a PvP ship, you got 20 fucking choose from, and you can just pick one. And every now and again, you'll see me poke in, doing pings in the doctrine supply. That'll be what we have, where it's listed the doctrine type. So in this case, it's the solo variants or the pack doctrine, which has just been released. I'm really happy with that one. That's going to be fun if you see any ESS dickheads. And also, if you've got the capacity to, let's say, only fly T1 stuff, I'm going to try to introduce that slowly, but it's going to be specific to like the Wild Dogs doctrine or ratting ships and explosive ships. There'll be some tackle options as well for T1 variants as well. Also, sorry, but I'm gonna try to keep it towards T2 specifically, because your skills in null are a lot different to how it is in, say, low sec or in high sec, where you can kind of get away with having T1 variations. T2 is very specific to null. That's why we gear it as like a baseline minimum to train into for anything. Doesn't matter what it is. Like, it can be rockets, for example, or light missiles. You want to have T2 variants, not simply because it's an elitist sort of point of view, but more because the application and how much you can benefit from having a T2 variant of said weapon type or defensive type module is significantly higher than its T1 counterpart. So it's like a 30 to 40% difference easily. So I'm going to try and focus into that sort of stuff. Anybody who does have, say, any friends you have IRL that want to come in, they're brand spanking new. That's completely different. We'll train them up for the first couple of months. First 3 months, we'll get them in. We'll pay for them. If they need any rank ships, we'll provide for them. If they need a mega, for example, we'll cover that as well. I've got no problem doing so. But just making sure they get up to speed, and then after the first 3 months, they should be able to defend, fend, and provide for themselves. If there's any problems that they've had along the way, like let's say they were AFK for a month, that's completely different. Shit happens. We can sort that out. But anything aside from that, we can help out with this as well. Any questions before I move on to the next topic? Or does everybody understand things so far?
Yeah, I'm with you so far.
I'm
Cool.
good.
The
So-
industrial side, is we going to be purely doing that with G3D, or are we going to be doing that with other industrial items, potentially corp assets?
I'm looking to try to do it in corporate assets specifically. At the moment, we're building the Phoenix backbone for the corporation, so that basically everybody can have a dread to get into. I need to go poke Shinzo about that as well, actually, because he's got a bunch of them, but he hasn't contracted them over to me. What the Phoenix project is, lads, is it's basically a point where eventually all of you will be able to get into capitals. It won't be today, won't be tomorrow, won't be next month, but eventually all of you will be able to get into capitals. the Phoenix project is effectively where I can just hand you a cap if we need to defend ourselves from invaders, from anything like that. And we can do that. And we can, sorry about that. So we can do that sort of thing. What I'm going to try to be able to do is ensure that so you can have a capital on standby that's going to be on contract to a specific role in the corporation or something like that. Or we can, put it out for folks who I know who can utilize it and then hand it back when they need to, or we can SRP and that sort of shit. But that'll be later down the line. It's something that we're cooking up at the moment, making sure we have not only the capitals available, but the fittings, the projection, the funding, and everything for it. Because it's a lot of caps. It's like 20 plus fucking phoenixes, and I think
I can get one. I can get one now if I wanted to, but
yeah, but it's not about.
Yeah, it's 23 jumps away, and it's a bit risky to go there and get it. While we're on the subject, sorry to interrupt you. While we're on the subject, I need you to open the one of the fleet hangars incorporation. I'm going to put all my big ships in there, so I won't be tempted to pull them out, like my junk freighters and all that. They're down here. I don't want to use them, and if they're put away inside the Corp tab, then I can't touch them. Well, I can, but I mean, I don't want to use them because they're expensive. Sorry.
Sure. No, you're fine. If you want, you can just contract them over to me or something, and I'll deal with them in a minute. But in terms of the capital projection side of things and the PvP side, it's cool having your own capitals, but the Corp wants to be able to provide you some should we need to do so in terms of emergencies, and that's basically what it's about. In addition to the PvP side of projection, I want you guys to be able to focus on small gang warfare specifically, because that's going to, if you've got neutrals in the area, I want you to focus on killing them. If you're in the middle of ratting or in an R64 moon or something, put it away. The moon's going to be there. Just go out and actually deal with the problem. Because our main standpoint here that we've currently got in the sovereignty is that people are just fucking lazy. The end of it, there's nothing more to add. It's just they're straight up fucking lazy. They don't defend the space. They don't bother with shit. They're just too busy making their fucking money, and then they wonder why they lose easy to win fucking fights and battles on different CTA strats and that sort of stuff. They don't have the experience. They don't have the leadership telling them, look, motherfuckers, you got to get your shit in line. So I'm telling you guys that one from the get-go so that you know what I'm expecting from you guys, and so that you have an understanding of when it comes to dealing with dickhead 1 through 5 who's going in your space, you know how to deal with them accordingly, which is break their fucking necks.
You got fit for the sorry. Do you have fit for the cap that you can share out so make sure the skills are going that way? I mean, I can fly a Phoenix already, but make sure I have the right setup.
Yeah, the Phoenixes should have a fitting in Corp. I don't think I've labeled them as a specific doctrine. They should just be a Phoenix. Let me have a look at that.
Alright, so you got Hall and cap, right?
Yeah,
I've not seen it, so I was looking the other day to see if you have one, but I didn't see one, so I don't know where that is then.
Yeah, if you just type in Phoenix in the corporate fittings, there's an anti-cap variant and there's a Hall variant. You should see those, but that's basically what I'm looking at. They might be subject to change, so they're not final unless I announce them as such, but assume that to basically be what it's going to look like. And that's basically the specific of what I'm going to be able to utilize. I might make a third one as like a roaming version, because one of those is fitted a little bit specifically to roaming as opposed to being Hall utilization. Okay. Any questions before I move on to the next part? No. Okay. Right, so our next topic here is future changes, which is I've talked a little bit about that in some of the previous topics as well, which is focus industrial projection, PvP. Effectively, I'm trying to push all of us towards more consistent activity. This ties into the endpoint as well. the more activity we have generally in terms of industry, in terms of PvP, exploration, you guys doing stuff as a whole, the more it brings in more individuals who are similar minded to us to the corporation. We're a small corp, we're a small outfit. I can admit that one, fair enough. But at the same time, what we try to do is we try to ensure quality overall. So if you're able to do one thing relatively effectively, let's say you're really good at fucking killing things in a bomber, for example, go do that. Be niche. That's what we want you to do. But if you're if you don't have an understanding of what you're good at, then I want you to try different things. Doesn't matter if you lose 20 ships in a fucking row. I want you to come back and tell us, what did you learn? Oh, I fucking took out this rupture, for example, off of the Solar Brawl Doctrine. We took it out as like 40, 50 mil, some shit like that. I went out, I got like a fucking 2 kills, and then I ended up exploding, come back home. Cool. Go out again. And the next time you lose it, but you didn't kill anything. The next time you go out and you killed like 4 things. And you ended up making your way home in Hull or some shit like that, This is the incentive I want you guys to be able to do as general change, because the more you do different things, the more you expose yourself to different aspects of the game. By doing that, you give the corporation, your home, a better utilization of talent. When you utilize when you utilize the projection of talent, fucking English, then what you can do is you can holster that accordingly into different aspects. Meaning, if we need specific things for reconnaissance, if we need specific things for intelligence, if we need specific things for industry, if we need specific things for knowing how to break a motherfucker's legs because you found some weird off meta thing that fucking works, cool. We can use that. We can push all of that towards fulfilling our projection as a whole, as a collective, because we're all cool having individual aspects, but individually we're only so strong. As a collective is where our strength shines, and that's what I want you guys to focus on. Any questions?
What do we need?
Well said, that, because that I've been striving to do since 4 years ago, is getting the members of the corporation to actually combine with each other, to converse with each other, to make things happen. But when they don't, it puts a dampener on everything you're trying to do, because you're just beating your head against a brick wall. But what you just said is a whole lot of sense. If you can get people to do it, and that's the hardest part.
What does the corp need most?
Bit of everything.
Okay.
Bit of everything. Yeah.
Women. Women is what we need. Women. Oh, sorry, wrong program.
We have to women.
I can't help with that.
We have to women. They show up at odd times. No, what we need specifically at the moment is fleet projection. So you guys doing e-war stuff, and a little bit more activity on a general scale. So if you're able to, I'm not trying to get you guys to commit from other games or anything like that, but if you're about talk on the Discord, shoot the shit, all that sorts of jazz, do what you need to be able to do as a general whole. So if you're online, be in comms, be in voice, be in fleet, that sort of stuff. Small things like this help massively, like emoji reactions on pins and stuff that you see. You want to put that stuff out there. It helps us gauge how much activity is actually being seen, whether our posts are getting through to people instead of us chasing up like, hey, do you know we're doing this? Sort of thing. If you just put the reaction on the post, cool. We can track 4 or 5 people on this. Fantastic. Sweet. All right, that's done. We know that's being handled. We know folks are aware of what's going on. It's really simple. It's really fucking easy. And the only thing it takes is you pressing your finger up and down. That's all it takes. Shit like that. Small things like this.
Is that a kinky deprivation then? Rubbing your finger up and down? Oh, no. Sorry, wrong program again. I must get with it.
Right. So the next one is content creation and projection of it, which effectively means I want you guys to be able to post different things. So if you're consistently online in the US time zone, for example, or in the European time zone, and you have, one of the boys that you're consistently shooting the shit with, or you know them for a bit, whatever, I want you guys to make things that are kind of centric to other individuals and to the corporation. So, for example, right, Conan, myself, and Mick have this thing where Conan and Mick are the same people. They're not, but because they're both Aussie, we have like this whole shtick where we just give each other shit for it. And Conan's got this thing where with myself where I just can't help buying skins and spend all the fucking money that we have on shiny things.
Stop
Things
trying
like
to mask your disease.
Pinball stick shows a problem.
Yeah, they've got tablets for it,
Yeah, things like this. What I want you guys to be able to do is just be more vocal about it. Like, make fucking memes, make silly videos and that sort of stuff. I mean, I post shit all the fucking time on different stuff. I want to see you guys actually having that sort of camaraderie with one another. I mean, at the end of the day, you log on to have fun. You log on to shoot the shit with the boys that you're with. And the corporation may be, having a specific agenda to go do X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, it's just organization so that we all have more fun. That's all it's about at the end of it, So I want you guys to kind of express your own creativity through that.
I'm surprised that Rorqual is still on market. I thought you would have bought it just because.
I fucking was meant to. Can you link me the contract in game, actually?
It's just on the market. It's not on a contract.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
Could you buy it for me, then? I'll just send you the ISK. How much was it? 4.5?
4.5.
Yeah, there you go.
It's in 7.7. I thought it was bait. That's why I didn't buy it.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, go ahead and buy that if it's in one of the structures there. Which structure is it in, actually?
Bunny's Garden.
We have access to that one, right?
Bunny's Garden? Yeah.
I also got Chef's Park tonight.
Yeah, just go ahead and buy that for me and Holy, and then just contract it over. Thank you.
Yeah.
So then there's the last bit, which is lack of activity, and that was just a general consensus point in regards to everything else I've spoken about, as well as some of our newer members. So I've not seen Arthas around the place. Dan I've spoken to. Jack I've spoken to. I need to go poke Kakara and Chancellor, and there's Mickleback and a couple others who we need to do some catching up with and whereabouts they are. And I haven't seen Stacy in some time. Gotta poke them as well. I'll give you a list later on people we need to go beat over the head. But yeah, that's basically just a general kind of thing. If you see folks online, make sure they're kind of keeping the protocols, so in comms and fleet, that stuff. You don't have to all talk to each other if have a fucking morning and I can't be asked to communicate. I get it. I have those more often than I'd like to admit. So just go into antisocial or something, and just be like, I don't want to talk to anyone, which is fine. We all have those days. But so long as you're just following the protocol, then you're fine. I've got no issues and you'll have no complaints from me.
As for us having all of us chilling in different channels or that being in Discord or Mumble, the other good thing is that it means that anyone that glances can see that we're active. We don't need to be talking to one another just to see that we're still active as a corp. If you go through our corp messages, the kill board, stuff like that, that's fantastic. But a lot of the time, you load up, you hover over the DA symbol, and you go, hey, shit, there's 7 people online. I wonder if something's happening. And you jump in, you find out that there's nothing happening, but it's good to see that everyone's around.
Yeah. It's a showcase of activity, which is always a good one to have. If you can see that there's X amount of boys online, and all they're doing is just chilling, shooting the show with each other. Maybe we're all ratting or something, we never know. Or maybe I'm fucking moving things and crying to myself, and Akon is ratting, one of the boys is hunting, one of the other dudes is fucking doing a mining or something like that, Having all of that going on just in comms whilst we're not even talking, just enjoying one another's fucking company by silently fucking doing what we do. Having that available on Mumble, for example, whilst being in Discord and in fleets, it's just basic protocol and it makes your presence known. Having that as an underline, just making your presence known, is huge when it comes to projection. It shows that you're about, as Akon rightfully said. It shows that you're available, as Akon rightfully said. And at the same time, it also shows the activity. And when you have that as a showcase, as in bold underline, it gives you guys a name. You might not be able to see it as the moment, but if you do it consistently enough, you will have that projection there that people know that they can rely on you guys actively. And that's where we are as a niche for the corporation as a whole. That's what we've always been. That's what our history's always been, is niche reliance on specific things. So that's what we guys to aim for.